a Black Wednesday into you.
Yes. Because you see Black Wednesday and because I mean Dark Wednesday.
Dark Wednesday, yo.
Black and the bunny.
Okay.
And I think it was tragic. And I'm not sure say any of us here can find any appropriate words. Yeah, the best describe it, what happened. Because for me, sitting here, I don't believe say Omanabuama Mutala. I don't believe, like I said, Obi can't story be actual, and you just want to, because it's something that is very, very, very difficult to accept. This is the reality, but unfortunately, it is the senior, and I should be able to make kind of say, yes, and your heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family. Obia, some of them, and actually have personal attachment with 4 of the persons who are involved in this particular accident, and I think that is very tragic. Yakase nipo bia bewu, but sometimes kwanya befa so abewu no ena ya asem. Niko say ote helicopter na elusu control because they sit here nintino a somersault wo wiem. So matisa amanfo e bisa se na parachute wo he na deben sometimes I think in some no ba unya to wase na tiase helicopter ya dey out na the first thing you do is about seat belt. And this ade no nya lusu control na somersault wo wiem enye ti se plane na betimi nanti wo ma me kwa kofa ade na se for no such a near man of craving no cry no in Nihoma and a cockabo for my Anna. So her jet fuel one of the most combustible, the most inflammable fuels I was as way so. And Tinano me making reference, I will call the World Trade Center and Crofonomoko hijack plane the Cobol World Trade Center. No, one of the planes, no, now when say a failure with jet fuel, I will because when say a very explosive. And one of the jets no Mokoji, no, now you load jet fuel room. And I'm going hijack the boom. So, any plane in a course of that particular fire, sir, and I'm fuel now, a woman, and the man exploding, the kind of devastating impact in your sana. I deal with your cobble as an impact in the swamp. The likelihood say Jatoma, a no day, because jet fuel now can power the distance, the combustion, you know, I'm ding. And so images and then as for a circulate here is very bad. And we the back Ghana for this attitude of I want to be the first person to break the news. But we should know that the very people involved are individuals and they have families.
Yes.
And whenever we are circulating some of these things, we have to be very circumspect in showing some of these things. You understand? For instance, now I was worried about Nipa body. I just said Gubotoma na yede call, but the explanation is yes. Explanation is not the bodies were so hot. Say omuntimin fan share body bag into they needed to transport those. The explanation, but
ventilation
exactly. Yes, but I think those or more those pictures. You know, it's quite unfortunate. We need to educate ourselves now and stop it. Some of these things because Nico Obakaya similar thing happened in the US. Kobe Bryant,
yes,
only so similar helicopter way. Yes, police for no call scene, no could pictures no more post to ye. Near SC settlement over $28 million. That is how Sanima we are for taking it serious. Because some of these things, you know, scar about hunting forever. Just imagine like somebody like Omanabuama, Nema Meti TV, so and the last image Obenya, sad near my way and the bias and do you see how painful it is? Utu no Kayobana, this is what comes to mind. So I think that yeah, prayer now no lumba ubehana social media man forces a microphone, the kurasi ni penny say an interview, and also to yes. Nipa na or not the baby I would about an agent say the opportunity to be on TV. This lumba in the beginning come more yakufa confusion to family because of some of these. I think
even we crown call fashion se Kwesikama village ho exactly. Yes. And when na be mo bloggers in be akoko krum.
Yes. And people have started weaving conspiracy theories obia ne de enka obia ntumi nka ba asem no can make sure so when so India woka and you say we also dealing with family alusu somebody and people who are very significant. Abuaje for instance was a personal friend. I've been to his house your friend is saying Obuase Abuaje And I remember
Samuel Abuad.
Yes, I remember Olusu elections na back and forth. Now I was on phone with him for almost 1 hour and over. And this is somebody.
Yes,
he has been coming to me as well. So that relationship is there, so you can understand. And yes, and the Honorable Mutala is somebody I've been admiring from afar. I like the way and analysis, very frank, like Asemno. And over the years, whenever I'm doing analysis, I make reference to in some what can say, or in the back can say, he doesn't believe say honorable more different parliamentarians no deserve it, because on one hand na include for name bi omo ye no ha or he doesn't feel comfortable. This is somebody or cannot be straightforward, and within analysis and that's what means that this is really an intelligent person. Honorable this is a very young man, NDC IT from with a medical background, what blended with politics, and how now of me and I started hearing stories, the kind of nipa wa buomo nipa wa establish yomo as a young man in politics. And your friend is saying a man for a day before oberuno yes social media video be by a crown or the your friend is saying plastic chair and a nanti Okohu family no in surgery, and he paid for everything. So that could be his last act of benevolence on social media. And I'm told that is what he has been doing. You understand? And there are a lot of young guys in the NDC who can say I am here because of Omanabuama.
Yes.
What I say. And so these are the kind of impact I'm making on individuals. And then Honorable Samuel Sapong, yes, I also I've encountered him a couple of times. I also very nice person who the first time I didn't even know say he will notice, but he called me by my name kind of way and a whole lot. So I think it's not just the family. You will be and the difficult aspect of it is and your private job you know na do we see mine, and that is very tragic. So I think across the political divide, you know, we need to bury our political differences. Now you said these people, I call them the great 8. See, the big 6. We need to tag them the great 8. Na omo eulogize omo memory. Na man for who say so cool who mind na in line of duty. So the nation will never forget you, because very often we forget about people. I think we need to do something eulogize omo memory, because any private job no more yet. Yes, I'm for, but in line of duty like this, and these are individuals. I think there's something need to be done. Sabe sha man for that kind of and unfortunately I listened to some terrible, despicable comment from people who should know better, like Kofi Akpaloo on one of the channels. I think that this is not a time for such a responsible, reckless comment. You understand? Because say and they say I'm not sure say sometimes the best say you be able and you better shut up and just let those who speak to speak and those who mourn will mourn, because so you busi and na sa we ya to men sure say ubetimi akase ubu and yeguso and say can sama wokano. And then I was very happy when the president made an assurance say an investigation will be started. Ade ba kwa kroma yenya ho ade sa na ma we ade we sia yemfa manyame sa yemfa manyame sa na ma no. I'm not sure say nyansa sama say yemfa manyame. Yes, nyame life in dem say belong to nyame, but we all must also do some investigation what actually happened. In going forward, you know, the be avert similar occurrence. What I say, an accident at this stage, that's what we can say. But now that the black box has been recovered, according to the Ashanti regional minister, no, whatever conversation that transpired between the pilot and the control tower, no, and within, you know, everything will be recorded, and I'm sure we will get a fair idea what exactly happened here, because this particular your friend saying helicopter way has been involved in a lot of near accident situations. You understand? So we have to know whether time and you do for servicing, for there na the current state of way. There are a lot of forensic, I think, investigation that has to be conducted. These things are about public, you can't just shelve it and sweep it under the carpet. And I think that transparency must be accommodated. Exactly what happened. Now your man is you move on. The situation like this, the best way to give you the family closure. Wama Ghana for closure. Yes, sir. We investigate mama for exactly what happened, and I think say yebenya ahotoso sabeya ebe debunk the kind of conspiracy theories people are just throwing around, because my culture said we are not just makers of news, we are all prosumers. People are producing, making and lay content. People are selling content for money, and as for people who just try to create their own news, and some of this false narrative. One way it will become the established narrative. Family no crime feel uncomfortable. One of the uncles interview, and they see I say adeba asena chase a kind of ya pa any accident na sino na nye wu no mo na mom sa koko botton na ya carry wa mu woman na ye video a amanfo de nam no
de obi kon
ho it's and just imagine say papa and that is the memory you have, and it's very terrible, you understand. So I think that my proposal is that going forward, parliamentarians will need to propose a legislation. I be dealing with some of the Nico car betting your ball. I'm a nurse. I know say a car bombs is here at the moment, and somebody can do CPR, basic things to revive you. But you want to see the problem with when she check camera a video.
And there are some background now of road accident.
Yes.
Then the pan inside of so called Bonnie Pan trying to face.
Yes, or the the social media, because I mean I post here when something could have been done to save. So I think that some of these things, some of these sensitive images and as a phenomenon, we need to weave a legislation that bar man for especially obi any accident, those sensitive graphics, yan shamra be ban people from posting. And now say some of these social media platforms, we can engage them, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. We can engage them, say within this territory, some of these explicit photos, we should not allow them. I think Facebook and other platforms have those policies. The choir, you show a blue high, a catastrophe catcher, say sensitive graphic. And I think some of these things going on platforms, what's happening as a forum, Mamma and Casabella, was a man for best send the video, Yakoma Mameno. We are fond of doing those things. So I think that we need to do proper legislation. I am banning a man from doing some of these things. And within the media space, and a man for us, when it comes to some of these experiences, as a new blogging kakresi kabi obenyantino whole lot of dirty news na you true without being sensitive said nipa no every family member nipa hwade. And I think that it's really bad. But as a young man, I think that we should be inspired by what these people lived for. That is very, very important. Helping and inspiring a lot of young people. Where he got to, he has been able to honorable Mutala, where he's coming from. And he's one of the selfless individuals I've seen. This is somebody very passionate about Ghana. He has been an anti-corruption crusader for a very long time. I listened to a video, no I care the young MPs. So we are Mansika ala bebu atain. You see how passionate he is, and also don't know your debates and then as for Abuaji has been a very fine gentleman, and then Metis and Obi can honorable Samuel Sapon and Samu Kumase. Abuaji crowd is so a last born. Oh, yes. Now I think that the heartbreaking way I met say the pilot.
But couldn't 2 months ago.
No, pilot, this year, losing the sister.
Oh, okay.
And I was here losing the brother. So he's the third. Okay. That is the story going around if it is true. Okay. So you can imagine, and the mother is alive. You can imagine the pain that person is going through. This same 2025 way. So my mother Lusu and mommy and son. So we will share the images like this. You should be very careful and you should be guided. say family no aka ha yo mo na ya nete ba bi o mo bi social media no mo so mo cops bi. So when you're weaving your conspiracy theories and then as for now, be very careful and be very mindful. It's not about getting the clicks on social media. It is about the sensitivity of how this and how painful it is. I did a heartbreaking and heart-wrenching experience. And I was at the Jubilee House and I may follow this kind of your friend is a memorial service and also President Mahama Baye. You could see this is a man who is visibly shattered, broken inside. Because you see, Niamani Sisi, first one about self-guilt. Especially when the person is going to represent you. A question about Musa Mekaso Munkonkwaya Den. What I say. So you could see the president is highly devastated. The vice president, Honorable Julius. Everybody was sharing tears and as before, because this is something that you can't analyze it, you can't explain. There are just you can't do anything that make sense out of some of these things. Obia, the air was heavy with grief, pain, and sorrow. And Obi Brifibi, and the atmosphere at the Jubilee House yesterday was that of your friends saying sorrow, then as a fall. So I think, say, as a nation, we must all come together and celebrate this great 8. Now you making sure, say, what they lived for, their legacy will be in our memory, will be on the consciousness of Ghanaian people for a very long time. Now young Kyei say we 9-day wonder, we are forgetting real. I think say we need to do something to build their legacy.
That's papa wonderful submission. If Ivan Kyei innocent. Mamen call Abubakar Sadiq Suleiman. Sadiq into
Nicholas. I didn't see it there. To be honest with you, it's very devastating. We know, say, Xavier Canon, and I say, Ivan Canon, or will be a you, but the I send a bit fed you know, and then I say, I touch Ghanaians. I just can't picture, say, now. What is going on? You see now, it was so being called, and then Vakono and Koye, and especially Mutala, and I see Bra Mutala call. You see, Uncle Nimanka say this is what is going to happen, Uncle Uncle. So, imagine say Omu a room hundreds of feet. Now you see. They were off the radar.
Yeah.
They knew maybe or more. That anxiety, that pain. At that time, no mutina helicopter. No, what is going on? It didn't cause war. Omu team. Who say who no? They're thinking. You see, isn't sure. Hey, brah, and easy. It is. So I understand. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the way he was shattered. We know his closeness with almost all of them. He's very close with them. Now, Abani say, "Wasmao, this is Wasmao we call you with mommy on my behalf." Now, dear Meteno, I see you've lost your soul. And easy, my brother. And easy. So, I know, say the family is going through a lot. And let me buttress the point of Ivan. Who say a flight never tore hormone, and I say helicopter never tore hormone. What we should have done, and I think we know. Let me use this medium to congratulate the people of Sikama. They did well. They were bold. They were brave. Just in case there's a survivor.
Is it from town?
2 hours.
2 hours journey. A forest in the
2 hours journey.
A mountain.
You see, a 2 hours journey.
Easy.
And so it should tell you, say, but they got there trying to almost say, they can save her. It's a bravery, but when it comes to destiny, let's sensitize the minds of Ghanaians. Say, it becomes a crime scene.
According to a Sena, my witness in a crow, or just a backroom who
say a very. I think that was when they were struggling because say fog or horse, you know, say say aeroplane now, the airplane will have to go through the fog. No, a brighter side.
Top,
But when we say helicopter, aim to me, sir. So I think that was when they were struggling. They were struggling. Emma, what happened? And then so I got a boss.
Serious.
You know when it crashes.
Yeah, there's some fine.
So I'm not sure say, but us going back to what I was trying to say, you know, say we say here, it becomes a crime scene. Forensic, it was a boom. So what I say, the cause of what happened, yes, we all know say there was a blast in Kofi, but at least you know they'll gather some information that will help us in the future too. So in as much as we are congratulating them, say we are there, they've done so well, but next time no, let's try as much as possible now. Yema police from bra no more cordon hono now, just in case of anything now. I'm bet to me some information just to support us. Aside that also no, with regards to the flight, you know, this is a particular flight, you know, other countries somewhat to know that particular flight. I don't want to make mention of that flight.
The campaign, no,
yes, it's that particular one. No. So maybe say young government, and bueno, but it's Ashanti Gold there also, and your government there.
So
yeah, you know, it's in custody of the military, but a gold company be there. So I've forgotten the name. I've forgotten the name, but it's a Yomudia, and it's in the custody of the military. So I believe say military in some there, when it comes to maintenance, they do it very well. You know, Ghana military is one of the most experienced military in Africa. So I say, so we don't know what's happened. All those conspiracy theories just to try to put the military in bad name or the government or whatever. No, this is not the time. That is why we need a forensic audit to make sure say, what caused the accident. It could be say a nature, because that is what caused it. But let's be mindful. Say helicopters to and I say just in case of accident, and a car will be motor will be train now those responsible no so that they'll gather any information there. Apart from that, you know, so Nicholas, we have very, very wicked men in this country. Very wicked people in this country. We share social media. People are trying to equalize. Say, I see my MPP for. I say, I see my.
But I don't say, and the crowd, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia Koi. What's my name?
Yeah, so that
acting Chief Justice.
And I can say, we have very wicked men in this country.